What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're going to be checking out the Unique Toys Red Destroyer, which is their take on Stinger based on his appearance in Transformers Age of Extinction. Arguably one of the most complex designs, and one that unfortunately not even Hasbro was able to make work. Take the Studio Series Optimus Prime as example. Whilst he looks really good from the front, the back, in all honesty, is just an absolute mess. There's just always been something about these Transformers 4 designs that has never quite been able to translate well over into plastic, mainly due to the lack of vehicle integration in the robot form. That was until this release. So, as we whack up an image of how he appeared in the movie, he looks to be incredibly close, and is by far the most screen accurate version of the character, which is honestly kind of surprising considering this design was never meant to actually be practical. Instead of transforming traditionally, Stinger would just break apart into cubes. He was even reused for the design of Bumblebee, even though he transformed into something entirely different. Unique Toys though have still been able to nail the proportions of this guy. He looks near identical to the film, with them having captured his sleek athletic build, which is just ridiculously impressive. Stinger is also mostly really well built, with a mix between flexible yet sturdy plastic and some die-cast joints. There is one point of connection that I would definitely be extra careful with though. These tabs for some reason are just completely plastic, and with the legs being fully painted, it takes too much force just to get these back out, to the point where one side on mine unfortunately snapped. As we spin him around to the back though, and again compare him to the design in the film, honestly this is easily his most impressive angle. Unlike most Hasbro Age of Extinction figures, they were able to completely compress the entire hood of the vehicle into his back. I have got to mention though how almost none of this is painted. Now according to Unique Toys, the reasoning for this was to basically not increase the final price, which I do understand, but surely this is just leaving them open for someone else to potentially make an even better painted version in the future. In comparison to the rest of their Transformers 4 characters, Stinger is still ridiculously impressive. They've taken yet another impractical design and turned it into something with an actual transformation, something which I guess we can also expect to see with their upcoming version of Bumblebee. Blasting through the accessories, he includes his arm cannon, 2 wrist blades, 2 missile pods, then finally an additional blade. The arm cannon is easily my favourite looking in terms of design, as this was a huge upgrade in comparison to what Bumblebee had in Transformers 3. As for his wrist blades, these are weapons which I don't believe show up in the film, but are still a really nice inclusion, and considering that Stinger was created using Transformium, it would make sense for him to be able to just form random weapons. As for the missile pods, these I believe are more so intended for the vehicle mode, mainly to reenact the scene where he is first activated and is sent in pursuit of Optimus Prime. Manipulating molecular structure by diving into the articulation. As we've now seen from nearly all of their releases, not only do these guys look the part, but they've also got the moves to match. So the head can look up, down, rotate left to right, the shoulders can kick forward, backwards, and completely out to the side, the elbows can spin, and can also bend way past 90, the hands can rotate, with the fingers also being fully articulated, the torso can crunch forward, and even spin side to side, the hips can kick forward, backwards, and out to the side, the thighs can spin, with the knees being able to bend backwards, then finally the ankles can tilt inward. So with the exception of the hips being slightly limited in terms of the outwards range, this guy's still incredibly agile. But to really see what sting this guy's packing, let's now put him through the pose test. Firing through some robot mode comparisons and going in order from tallest to smallest, up first is the Unique Toys Perukill, which was their take on an Age of Extinction lockdown. Now this guy was originally released in 2017, and honestly in comparison to Stinger, I do think that now they could maybe even make this design even better. The Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Leader Class Megatron, movie masterpiece Bumblebee, based on the original live action film, and sizing wise I think this works pretty well. Studio Series Leader Class Optimus Prime, Voyager Class Galvatron, then finally the 86 movie Bumblebee. intercepting KSI transmissions and taking over his ability to transform, as to be expected by Unique Toys. The engineering this figure has is simply remarkable, and is surprisingly not an absolute chore to get through. So for the first step, take the missile pods and fold these forward, take this section and flip this up, wiggle this panel upward to create enough clearance for this entire section to be completely flipped all the way around. Once completed, snap it back into place. Take this panel and fold it forward, spin to the back and attach this into place. Then take these wheels, spin them around and begin to push the spikes back. We can now take the stars and begin to compress them inward, then make sure to combine them. You'll now take the chest plate and pop this forward. To allow these panels to do the same, we can now turn around to the back, take these panels and push these forward. You'll then take the head and slide this up to allow these panels to fold forward. You'll then take these pieces and slide them back, with the hip skirts firstly folding forward, then secondly folding back, to allow the hips to be brought forward, then tabbed into place. You'll now slide this panel to the front, with the heel spur following closely behind. We can now take the foot and hinge it to the side, take this panel and flip it to the back. You'll then pop open this panel to allow clearance for this to fold to the side. This entire panel can now spin around, with this panel folding back, with the foot sliding inside the leg. You'll now take this panel and spin this to the side, so that it can more easily slide into the leg. You'll then take the kneecap and slide this forward. We can now take the knees and begin to compress them in. Now take this entire panel and tap it into the thigh. Fold this window forward, with this panel snapping in at the front. We'll now take the chest and begin to unfold these panels. These collarbones will now slide inside this tiny gap. To allow these panels to do the same, take this panel and flip it to the back, then take the roof and make sure that it snaps over the top. You'll then take these pieces and slide them back, making sure that these attach into what was originally the hips. Flip to the underside and make sure that the back shurikens also tab into place. Then just begin to snap these panels into place. Then take the windshield and snap this forward. The headlights of the vehicle will detach and slide back, as you'll now take the bicep and fold this to the side, with the elbows folding in an opposite direction, then sliding up. The arms will then slide into the hood of the vehicle, with the headlights folding forward and tabbing into the rest of the vehicle. Now take these panels and apply enough pressure so that these lock into the headlights. You'll now take the side mirrors and straighten them out, take the front of the vehicle and lock it into place, with the final step being to take these heel spurs and push them forward. And that is the transformation now fully complete. Here is Stinger now fully transformed into his vehicle mode, and as we whack up an image of the actual Pagani Huayra, even this is incredibly close. Front, side to back, Unique Toys have truly created a masterpiece. As mentioned previously, Stinger and Bumblebee both share exactly the same robot designs, yet transform into something entirely different and are basically kibbleless, so I think it's ridiculously cool how close this is to the actual movie. These sharp angled panels mixed with the incredibly distinctive headlights are just a few features which make this supercar easily one of the best to come from the live action films. I've also got to mention that initially I wasn't too keen on the shade of paint they used, because I always thought Stinger appeared to be a bright red on screen, although after rewatching Age of Extinction, even the vehicle in the film tends to shift, with it sometimes appearing to be much darker. As mentioned previously, the missiles are able to attach up front to recreate his weaponized form, although the same cannot be said for the rest of his accessories, mainly because there is no extra space on the underside. Everything is super compact, which again really just goes to show how well engineered the transformation is. Even the rims are fully die-cast with proper rubber tires to match, giving him the ability to not only glide back and forth, but to also cruise his way into battle. Racing through some vehicle mode comparisons, up first is Unique Toys Peruquil, the Studio Series 86 Optimus Prime, Leader Class Megatron, movie masterpiece Bumblebee, and I would say that the sizing between these two is honestly just about right. Studio Series Leader Class Optimus Prime, Voyager Class Galvatron, then of course the 86 movie Bumblebee. So, wrapping up on this review for the Unique Toys Red Destroyer. Overall, the figure is yet another masterpiece, and it's easily the best transforming version of Stinger. He looks near identical in robot mode, with a muscular build and incredibly clean design. Much like their previous Galvatron, Unique Toys have once again made a seemingly impossible design completely possible. The back in particular is super impressive from a design standpoint, as this looks to be equally as detailed as the front. My only minor gripe would be the lack of paint. There is a lot of moulding in detail, which unfortunately all just kind of gets washed out. The transformation though, whilst daunting at first, is actually really well engineered and results in a vehicle of equal quality to the robot mode. It's crazy to me that despite the robot designs being used for two entirely different characters, they both transformed into two completely separate vehicles, yet Unique Toys have been able to completely make that work, with even plans to release their own version of Bumblebee in the future. But I would love to get your thoughts. Be sure to sound off below and let me know. As always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next video, I'll see you then. transform and roll out!